All right. And there are 7 of you in already. That was super quick. Hey, Kurt. Thanks for joining us in the LMA voice chat as well. Are you hearing us okay now over our Twitch channel? I want to make sure this Discord audio I'm pumping in so people can join us tonight is working as it should. Crystal, outstanding. And Amanda and Kurt, are we also hearing the little background Celtic music?
I don't know. I'm still in the Discord chat, so.
Yeah. Hello, Trey. All right, good. Everybody says yes. Hello, Toriano. Hello, Tracy. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Should be a fun night tonight. Got all the things, all the toys in here. Gonna talk 3D printing. Hello, Mike. Happy birthday. Congrats. Hello, Pat. Hey, Jeff. Thanks for joining us.
Happy birthday.
Let's go. Anybody that talks in that voice chat, just know you are going to be heard live all over the internet.
That is fine by me.
Hey, how's it going, my friend? Welcome, welcome.
I am happy to be in this more experimental version of LMA.
Exactly. I've only done this once before. It was the crazy idea I got when I had Manda on, and I thought, why not? And then it worked pretty well. And you're going to see this no mic, no sound from me. I don't know what you're saying, Pat66. But in any case, it's something I'm going to be using more. I like it for especially things like the budget build battle we have coming up with Ashlyn. I like it for the terrain creation, for the painting stuff, the item create. Anytime we can interact with the chat and have them engage with us, I think it's a fun way to do LMAs.
Yeah, pretty cool.
So thanks for joining us. All right, we're going to just wait another minute, and then we're going to play our intro.
Ooh. That intro is...
Mike, that's interesting. I've been getting those notices more lately. The watched so many consecutive streams this month and sparked a watch streak. Hey, Chris, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. On LMA 112. All right, we're going to get ready to start here. And if anybody happened to miss it last night, this is a great opportunity for you to see our brand new intro that we have every week now for Loremaster's Arcanum.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Thank you, Mike. And there it is. Welcome to Loremaster's Arcanum 112. Thank you, Toriano. Thank you for everybody in the chat. Hope you enjoyed that. And if you're in here, you'll be able to watch that each week. And we're going to do very similar things for our Tears of Air. Hey, Natasha, thank you for the sub. Similar things for Tears of Air and for Greyhawk Awakening, Book 3, which is going to start here in just a few weeks on May 2nd. I am joined tonight by two awesome fellas. To my left over here, I have Patrick Fraley17. Yeah, you all know him from Discord and in chat. Also became one of the Blue Box admins. He'll be up on our website here very soon. And then on my right on your screen, we have Mike. You know him as Necromantic DM in the Twitch chat. He's Beowulf in our Discord chat. And he has joined me tonight. Hunting Wabbit, yes, exactly. Because the ever mistaken, ever generous, and glamorous Phantom NJ is without power tonight. He's had some windstorms up there. He keeps trying to insist that New Jersey is a place that people actually want to live. We all know better than that. Thank you, Kai. But he lost his power a little bit ago, so keep him in your thoughts. And I think internet as well, so he's really struggling up there and probably on his phone. So tonight we're talking 3D printing, and we've got our voice chat open in the Discord, so I can see right now we've got 4 folks that are in. But if you're watching right now and you'd like to join us by voice chat, you can go into the Discord and you can go over to the Loremaster's Arcanum on the left, kind of scroll down among all of our channels, and you'll see the one that has the voice speaker icon next to LMA. And it's you just click that and boom, you're right in, and you can talk if you want to. You don't have to, certainly, but you can join that if you want to, and it's kind of a fun way to interact with the chat. Sure, compliment him when he isn't here to exactly. All right, so let's show you the setup tonight. Here is what we have on the table. So we have an FDM printer rolling right here, and this guy's already in action on a print. And then we have some actual printed stuff here. This guy is incredible. I'm going to show some close-ups of it, but what Patrick has done with this is absolutely insane. We've got some printed terrain over here that we'll show a bit on stream tonight. We've got some minis and stuff that we'll show. We'll do some close-up shots of these. As you can see, I got a camera here that I can do some close-up shots with. Ruined structures, and oh, by the way, these also are the giveaway. So let's go to our close-up cam. And you can see here we've got this ruined structure. It's got a removable roof. It is not only 3D printed, it is already painted for you. Painted by Patrick himself, and he does a nice job with these paints. So there's that. And then the second giveaway, similar, a ruined structure. And that's this guy here. Roof is gone. Painted, nicely painted. Look at the work on the stone. You know, you've got the variable stone colors. It's not just all one flat gray. You've done a really nice job on this. No, thank you, man. These are awesome.
Oh, that's the one that's painted. No, I'm just kidding.
So, thank you very much for bringing those, and we'll do those giveaways tonight. You know, that'll be fun as well. But as we get started, let me just start with Mike and say, Mike, thanks for joining us. And why don't you say hey to everybody and let us know anything you'd like to talk about tonight. I'll kind of keep some notes here, and we'll cover all the topics.
Yep, I'm actually chatting on Amanda's phone. I think I just need to restart mine.
Okay. Well, welcome, Mike. And Patrick, thank you so much, man, for bringing all this stuff.
No
Why don't you walk us through what kind of printer we have here, what's going on, and we'll do sort of an intro.
Okay.
Voice volume keeps going up and down. So is that just with me, or is that with everybody? Because I'm guessing what's happening is it's other people talking, and Discord audio is probably not quite as smooth with it as Zoom is. Oh, you're saying the whole stream audio is going up and down. Oh, it's when I change frames. Oh, you know what? Okay. Let me see. Hold on here. I'll bet you I know what that is. So let me go to... Which ones did I show you? I showed you this one. Okay. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Actually, that shouldn't. Okay, good. That's good volume. Now louder. Okay, all right. So let me. Yeah, that one should be good as well. Testing 1 2 3. Yeah, no, the in is absolutely incredible. When I get close, it's going to blow you guys away. All right, very good. All right, so Patrick, tell us what we have here.
Okay, so this is an Ender 3. It is probably about 4 years old, and so it's what we like to call from Creality and Ender is the workhorse for like a 3D printer. I know Mike has an Ender 3 V2, which is a version 2. I think they have an Ender 3 Pro, and Creality makes up Ender 10s and Ender 7s and Ender 5s. But when I was researching what kind of printer to get, most reliable, easy to work on, easy to print was the Ender 3. And so, like I said, I've had it for about 4 years. It takes a little tinkering every now and then to make sure it's running smooth, but like Mike and I always say, once it gets dialed in, it prints pretty good. And then, eventually you're going to have to replace a nozzle, replace a tube, things like that, just maintenance on it. So that's what printed the in, that's what printed the board, that's what printed the two giveaways. The miniatures are from the resin printer that I have, which is a Inacubic Mono, and it's just a base resin printer. It's not a fancy resin printer. The build plate's probably 6 by 6, no, probably 6 by 3 inches maybe. So it's a smaller build, but it does the job for minis and things like that. And we can discuss later the pros and cons of each one, of what you want to print and that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. We will talk about that. We already have our first question in the chat, and it is about, I think, as likely as Jersey. So Vivi wants to know when you are moving to Canada.
That would be never, and on top of that, probably never. The return question is, when is Vivi moving to somewhere south of the Canadian border? Anywhere in the United States would be fine. Closer to Tennessee would be good, but not in Canada.
Yeah, somewhere sane.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's quiet on this screen. I don't see why that would be. The screens are. I'm not even controlling audio through this. I'm controlling audio through Discord now. What would be different here? Let me just double check something. Should all be the same. It's the Behringer. I'm gonna guess it's got more to do with when people are coming in and out on Discord voice. It like my voice should sound the same to you. Is my voice quieter to you now? You're saying? Yeah, I think we're just gonna have to let it go. Whatever. I think it's Discord. My voice is quiet to you, Toriano, but others are saying it's fine. So sounds fine, just softer than on the other frames. I don't understand how that's possible. Audio is not being controlled by the scenes. Audio is being controlled by Discord. I'll turn this up a little bit more. I'm hesitant to do it because I don't want to blast your ears out. There we go.
I know that, like, on my end, I actually muted the stream, and I'm only listening to you over the Discord chat, the voice chat.
Yeah, which is probably easier for you to do. But for the folks that are watching on stream, how is my audio level now? Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. You guys hearing me okay? If it's just a little bit quieter, we're gonna just chalk that up to some gremlin. Yeah. All right, and thank you, hot a pinch bottom. All right. So we have a question in the chat, Patrick, as our printer is zipping away, and it is, how many pieces was that in total? And I'm going to move this camera over
building
here.
the printer? Oh, God. I mean, it was probably 15 to 20 pieces. So when Creality sent it to me, of course, it was in a nice box, styrofoam. And the way I did it is, I think there's a website and a YouTube channel called Fat Dragon Games, and he primarily uses an Ender 3. And so he has a video that's set up, and I'm sure there's other people with other printers that can run you through the same thing. This is step by step how to build the Ender 3. And so I one day when I got it on the kitchen table, and within an hour and a half had it built. And he does great job of saying do certain things at certain times because it will affect the print later. And so in an hour and a half had it printed, had it together, and then I was printing, and I think I printed a small dragon head to start off, and it printed phenomenally. I was very well pleased. And so they're not hard to put together. They're not hard to maintain. It is a tinkering kind of tool, though.
So I believe, though, the question was how many pieces was that in?
Oh, this, not the printer.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's what I know. The in was not 15 pieces. Yes.
Oh. So each floor, the bottom floor is 4 pieces. Second floor is 4 pieces. So 4, 8, 12. I think it was probably 16, 18, 20, probably 20 to 25 different prints for the inn. Not including the 2 facades. This is a facade you can put on the front, and like I was telling John, the facade on the side is removable.
So let me show that. And while I'm doing this, we have Manda and Twilight in the chat on Discord. Why don't you guys introduce yourself?
All right. Hi, guys. I'm Twy, Dark Elf Twilight. I've been playing D&D for... I want to say it's been 23 years now, and I'm just excited to, find old school D&D stuff again online or in person. So I've been watching Blue Box RPG for the past, year or two now.
And we appreciate it. And we appreciate your contributions in chat. You're active in the Discord. It's great to have you with us tonight. Thanks for joining. And then it's all about the OG. Well, that is funny. So we are doing all one-shots in April. And my entire channel has been turned upside down because of Vivi. It's all her fault. Vivi decided to go and get a better job and actually prioritize her life and her family. This is just mind-boggling to me.
How could you?
How could she? Wow, what are you doing? But we're actually going to run one-shots in April. And we have, yeah, you should be sorry. We're going to have one-shots in April. So on the 4th, Kurt, you know him as Cuventus, he's going to run a really fun stream. He's already getting some cool stuff printed out and talking to the team and getting ready. He's running a game at Blue Box Con, and he's running on the 4th here on our stream. He'll actually be in this seat running it live from the Blue Box studio headquarters, and that's going to be fun. Then on the 11th, I'm running the game, which is the OG, which you would call old gamers or original gamers, or as I like to call it, the ossified grognards. And so that will be on the 11th. And then the 18th, it is Greyhawk Awakening Book 3, Session 0. So it's completing the characters, it's talking through the lore. I was going through some of it with Patrick before the stream today.
It's pretty good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, there's a lot of thought that's gone into this. We're not just slapping Athos in Greyhawk. There's a reason for it. It all makes sense, and it's going to be a fantastic game. And then on the 25th, we have Josh, NPC Voices, running a one-shot. And I believe, Amanda, are all the spots full, or do we have one left? Manda, that question was for you. Dark Side, what? Resin better for mini painting? Yes. In fact, why don't we come back and talk about that for a second? One for Josh and one for Kurt. And Amanda, I know you're also in the voice chat, so please, you can feel free to speak as well. And we've also been joined by Chris. Chris, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? If you want to, you don't have to.
As soon as I can figure out how to take the mute off. So, you know me as Brewing Doll, Chris, I'm from Maine. I do some printing myself, except I get a 3-in-1, so it does CNC printing and laser engraving. So
nice.
I'll probably have some questions.
Yeah, and if I can, I have some stuff that you sent me. I believe it's in this cabinet here. If I can find it, I'll show it on stream tonight. But he does he does pins, he did coasters, some really, really fun stuff. So thanks for hanging out with us tonight. And is there anybody else in the... Amanda's got the other mic. So, yeah, if you're wondering how they're doing this, if you go into our Discord, scroll down to LMA, there's a voice channel. You can pop in and you can join us in the chat. So the question came up, Patrick, the differences between the FDM printer we're using here and the resin. And I think most of us know for high detail, for minis, typically you think resin. But actually, I've been shocked at some of the stuff that you can get out of an FDM printer. There's some really good detail that you've shown me with some FDM pieces here on the table.
So if you're going strictly for miniatures and high detailed miniatures, you're going to go to resin because you're talking about laser sighted, pinpoint accuracy from the print itself. The PLA, it can print adequate prints. There's no doubt about it. I've printed miniatures. There's a lot of layer lines. There's a lot of things you gotta, if you're gonna take time to do it, sand down, pick apart, do some stuff like that. If 3D printing for miniatures is your primary goal, it's going to be resin. If you want terrain and things like that, it's going to be the PLA. So you can get prints from a resin printer. an FDM printer, comparable, but not the detail. It just doesn't get there.
Yeah, and so I want to talk more about sort of also piece sizes and bed sizes, and maybe we can pull up a couple examples of printers today, because people have these questions. But I like ResCal. That's a really good point that was just made in chat. Many of us have purchased Hero Forge minis. And the Hero Forge minis are cool because, they come out really nice. They now paint them. You can get them painted, and the paint's, it's pretty good. I mean, especially if you want to go and layer it with a little more weathering and whatnot. But they break so easily. Yeah. What is it that Hero Forge is using that makes those minis so easy to snap and break?
Well, now, resin, one of the drawbacks to resin, printing your own resin minis, is they are very delicate. So I used to buy a lot of Reaper stuff. They have a more elastic resin kind of mold that they use. So like the guy with the staff and the guy with the axe right here, if he falls off the table, more than likely he's going to break. Now they do have some additives. I haven't tried it yet, but they do have some additives that you can add to your resin in the vat. Small amount, and kind of stir it around and get it going. That makes the resin just a little more pliable.
Okay.
Not much, but it gives it a little more give.
Okay.
So if you're going to print a bunch of guys with a bunch of swords straight up in the air and spears and things like that, you're going to have to take care of them because they will, like when you're taking supports off, especially, if you just start ripping supports off, you're going to find the axe came with it. So they're just delicate right now. And so I would assume, though, somehow the technology is going to catch up to it a little later where you can get a better additive to the resin to make them a little more pliable. Not real rubbery, but a little more sturdier plastic.
Okay, that makes sense. So go ahead.
I got a question.
Uh-huh.
It might be a little obvious to some. I'm not the most versed in 3D printing, but it is possible, right, to have a blueprint for, say, a miniature that's supposed to be done in resin and do it in a different material, or in that other material and do it in resin, right?
You can, but the problem you run into when you transfer the place that I get my miniatures from, the majority of is from Loot Studios. They primarily know that you're going to print that in resin. And so the supports are there for resin. The supports are different when you switch it over to a FDM printer. Now you can buy miniature prints that are supportless, and add your own supports to an FDM printer, and that can take some time. And you can print them, but a print that is designed for resin usually doesn't turn out as well on an FDM printer as it does resin because of the supports.
Okay, so then am I looking at supports when I'm looking at this
Yes.
image here? All right, so
Yes.
this is a print that you did for me.
Right.
And if everybody can guess what that is, it's going to be awesome. But these are the supports that you
Correct.
require for resin. And so what you're saying is sometimes the STLs that you receive, like the worm that you were doing,
Right.
they don't have the supports in
That
the
didn't
STL?
have a support, and the problem with the worm was it was solid. It wasn't hollow. So it kept failing and cracking and falling into the vat, which was bad.
Right.
But you can see on that piece right there, that's as tall as my print would go. So it was pretty huge. So the support's there. So you got to remember. So like the FDM printer right now is printing from the bottom up.
Right.
It's printing vertically that way. Up.
Right. Right.
The resin printer prints from the bottom down.
Right.
So it's printing the bottom layer first, or the top layer first, in that way, and it's going up as it prints.
Okay.
So they can work together, but you're gonna have more issues when you switch resin printing into an FDM printer.
Right, that makes sense. Hey, Josh, good to see you in chat. And he said, yeah, that's why he canceled Loot Studios monthly, because it was primarily resin-driven STLs,
Right.
and he only had an
Right.
FDM printer. So
Right.
yeah, that makes sense. Question came from Vivi, and you have a example of a
Yeah.
misprint there. So she said, what do you do with misprints, and what's one way you can repurpose a misprint?
Now,
So let's start. What causes a misprint? Let's talk FDM
Sure.
and resin.
Sure.
And then what do you do with them? What causes them, and how do you
so
use
that
them?
one right there is, I was printing another piece of a house. So that'd be like one of the floors. So it lays down this whole layer, and then it starts to introduce the wall, things like that. So as you can see in that corner, what happened was that. So what I'll do when I watch a print, I'll watch the print take down the first couple of layers. I'll watch it, not continuously, but I'll check on it, you could say. And if everything is flat, like the one on the build plate right now is flat, it's not curling. I noticed that one started to curl. Now, on your build plate in the very center, the build plate right now is at 50 degrees. And so the further you get out to the edges, the cooler it gets, just by nature. And so one tip I can give you right now is this Elmer's School washable glue. I know Mike uses it. I use it. When I start a print, I lather the build plate with glue to keep it to stick. So I tried to get on that corner, and while it was printing another place, tried to get it to, I put some glue down, tried to press it down and see if it would stick. Left it for another little bit, and it just continued to curl because it wasn't adhering to the bed.
Okay.
So canceled the print, just ripped it up, went ahead and put another layer of glue down, and then printed it, and it printed fine. So that's one thing you got to watch with. The biggest thing for FDM printer is adhesion. It has to sit level on that bed or it will get wonky. You'll see curls, you'll see things that mess up on your print. Now, resin, so what can you do with PLA? There's people that have come up with different ideas of putting stuff together and heating it up and
Melting it back down.
Melting it back down into a spool. That takes a lot more process than a lot of people are going to do. So resin prints, really with both printers, adhesion is key.
So I'll tell you something I could see this being used for. If you would go ahead and pull the top off of that again for a second and go. So you talked about using for Fog of War, you had those prints.
Sure.
You could cut that. You can just go hold it over there. You could cut that into those room-sized pieces and use that. I mean, it's a simple repurposing.
Sure.
But you could use it for a Fog of War effect to cover rooms. If you, in fact, here, let's show that a little bit close up so people can see what I'm referring to. So this tavern has, you can go ahead and slide it away, has really detailed rooms inside it. And so you could take a piece like that and you could cut it to fit those room sizes and create a neat little kind of Fog of War effect. So I think that would be workable. All right.
So like I was saying, adhesion is key in both printers. When I got the resin printer, I basically took the spatula that I got and didn't ruin it, but I made some grooves, small grooves, scraped it up. Wanted to get something where it could bite on it, because you can't put glue on that build plate.
Right.
So most times things will adhere to it, and if it doesn't adhere to it, then you have to go into your settings and make your first couple of layers a little thicker so it will adhere.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Well, and I want to give everybody a sense of scale as well. So I don't know if you can tell, but this thing is huge. This is bigger than any other. I've got a bunch of the Miniature Building Authority stuff back here. It's not bigger than my super tall castle tower, but as far as like all of my it looks like a huge inn next to most of your stuff. So this is Brim from Book 1, my Brim miniature. If you've seen this guy, he's larger than a regular mini. So let me hold up. Here's Gimbal. So if you want to compare by size, so there's a Gimbal mini, there's a Brim mini, and I'm going to put this large Brim mini next to this inn, and you'll get a sense of scale. I mean, that is a good-sized inn that you have there, and it looks gorgeous. I mean, I hope it's looking as good on the stream as it's looking here. It's fantastic.
It's total of about 14 inches high.
40, yeah. It looks even taller than that. Yeah, Josh, so we have been back in Book 1. Yeah, Brim is about 3 GSUs minimum. So Book 1 has actually got just 2 more sessions before it goes back on ice, and then we go to Book 3 on May 2nd, which is the Sea of Dark Sun, taking the world of Dark Sun and planting it in the southern Flanness. And I might play the trailer for that if we get time a little bit later. But yeah, Brim is at least 3 GSUs. Oh, the inn? The inn, let's take a look here. So I've got the mini there. I'm going to say the inn is...
It looks like 15.
I'm going to say at least 15 to 17. Yeah, you're right. 15 to 17, maybe 18 GSUs. It's a... Yeah, so Greg, I'm calling the Sea of Dust the Sea of Dark Sun in my my Greyhawk world, and I am absolutely, I think, in keeping with lore. I'm going to blow your mind with how this works. This is not just junking Greyhawk lore. This is in the stream of Greyhawk lore, why it makes sense to have an Athos-like world in the Sea of Dust. And it is going to be so much fun. And I have, if you haven't heard me talk about this, I have custom minis. Patrick here is, I'm putting actually a good solid terabyte of STLs on a thumb drive today that he's taking back with him. He's going to print and paint. Amanda's going to paint some as well. And then all of those pieces are also being put into Tailspire as custom assets in Tailspire. I've got gorgeous 3D environmental builds being done by Baladrax. I've got Istalri and John Demon Gun's going to probably pop it in the chat. I forget the other guy's name, that are building cities for me. It's going to be the most, and all the players are just off the chain excited. What they're creating for this book 3 is going to be incredible. All right, so back to the case at hand here. So other questions that we have in chat: how tall do you normally print? Max may be different than user preferred max height. That's from Thomas.
Yeah, it depends on the printer. Depends on how each printer will give you specifications on its maximum print height. And so now there's some that Anycubic I know came out with a printer that the build plate is about 12 by 12 now. So you're talking a build plate this huge, and it's massive. That's like $1,500.
Wow!
But you can print full helmets at one time on it.
Is that what Mike is using?
No, Mike's actually printing helmets on his FDM printer. Mike has basically the same FDM printer and same resin printer as I do.
Okay.
Now, helmets you can print in pieces and put them together.
But you could do a helmet that size
and that one
in resin
on that printer.
On that $1,500 printer. That is insane.
Yeah.
That is absolutely insane. Yeah. So, Chris, you put a few examples of your prints in the Loremasters Arcanum chat. All right, awesome. Yeah, check that out in our Discord. And if you guys have any other examples of your prints, pop them in the LMA chat. We'd love to see that kind of stuff. And then while we're waiting, we got a couple more questions that are coming in here. But let me go back to our voice chat, folks. Twy, Chris, anybody in voice chat? Mike, you have any questions or comments that you'd like to make?
I mean, one that I had to say, I didn't get a chance earlier, everything went so fast, is just the new opening for the Loremaster Arcanum is so cool with the magic tome, and I have to ask, was that Aragon from Inheritance?
Which piece are you referring to in there?
The blue dragon head near the beginning.
Oh, you know what? That's a great question. I'm not sure where that was gathered from. So it's actually, I got that from Cowboy Hob. Hob used it for the Tears of Aird intro screen that I have. And then I asked her for the different assets. So I don't know where she got that, but yeah, it might have been. I don't know. Good question. But thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm really proud of that. That was Joffrey Dice Songs that helped me put that together. But of course, if you noted, you've got Dragon Magazine covers, you've got DM's Guide, you've got Bill the Master Crafter. Speaking of 3D prints, his Colosseum that was used for the Grand Jousts of Altamira. You've got Anna B. Meyer's map, her zombie goats. There's just so much cool imagery of things that have been featured here on LMA. So I just.
Even that picture of Wilhelm from the tapestry.
Yes.
The name of the tapestry.
Yes, absolutely. No, thank you for pointing that out.
That was cool. That was a bit of history.
You were expecting Ixen to be shown in the LMA intro. All right, so other questions from anyone that's in our voice chat, or Mike, any questions or comments you'd like to make? All right, not everyone at once, please. All right, let's go back to the chat then. We have a question here from Greg. He asked, what the best type of printer spool to buy for painting a 3D print? Now, that's actually a very good question because, I know some of these resins have different levels of paint acceptance. So talk to us about that.
Okay, so if you're gonna be painting this stuff, of course, you're not just gonna leave it gray. I use black for the FDM. I use gray for resin. No other reason that I think they're just cheaper, because the colors, of course, you have to add pigment to it, which changes the price. Most resins that I've found will accept a regular primer spray. That's what I use. I use a spray can primer. Just prime. You don't cake it on, of course, because then you're going to lose your detail. But I've never had any print reject paint. Now, one thing that I've found with other companies, that when they do their prints, they have a releasing agent that they use that release the prints from the molds. And if you don't wash those prints, paint will just run off of it like water.
Okay.
Because it's a releasing agent, and it's still on that miniature. And so that's the way they release them from the molds.
Okay.
And so I've never had a problem with any resin or any FDM material not accepting paint. You can go straight to paint if you want to, right onto the resin.
Okay.
So, but I like to just start with a neutral base color of a gray, of a dark gray or a light gray, depending on which way I'm going in the paint.
All right, that makes sense. And then brand-wise, is there any difference?
So for the resin, I use the Anycubic just base resin. That's the one that I started with. I've not had any trouble out of it. I used to use, I can't remember what the FDM, the PLA I used before, but I found this Overture brand. It's only like $19 on Amazon. The rest of them are about $24. I tried it and not had one issue out of that PLA. So
Nice.
I would recommend, I think I've recommended to Josh before, I would recommend the Overture PLA for a 3D FDM printer.
Excellent. Very good. Hello, Anna. Good to have you in the chat with us as well. Greg, hopefully that answered your question. If not, feel free to ask a follow-up. Anna, we played Hello, Ish and Loki. Good to have you in as well. We played the LMA intro earlier, Anna, the one that I sent you today, and everybody liked it. And of course, the zombie goat and the map are highlights of that intro. So thank you so much for allowing me to use those in the intro. I did check with her first, and she's always a supporter. And then there is, Anna, a ton of excitement about the Sea of Dark Sun coming here to book 3, and I've referenced a couple of times, I'll mention here, Anna's actually helping me with some of the mapping that we're doing to make this work within the world of Flyness and sort of the Blue Box custom style. And she's just incredible. And Anna also helps me with lore. I'll call her and we'll just chat, and I get so many ideas just talking to Anna, and just I really do appreciate all of your help very much. Okay, Tracy, thank you for the sub. What was the brand name of the FDL spool again, Patrick?
Overture PLA.
Overture PLA. Okay, got it.
It's on Amazon for right at like $19 a spool.
Okay. Amanda, there was a question up a moment ago. I just missed it. Okay, with printers, what type of temperatures should the room be kept? We were talking about that a little bit before stream.
So where I'm at with the printers, the FDM is in my bonus room. Now, one thing that you may not think is important, but placement of your printer in your room is vital.
Okay.
I wouldn't set it next to a window for draft purposes. I wouldn't set it underneath or somewhere near a vent, air conditioning vent.
Okay.
The slightest amount of temperature change will make the print do different things. Now, like we were talking about, my resin is in the garage. I've printed when it's 32 degrees outside, and probably the garage is in the 40s. Prints just fine. I think each bottle of resin, like I was telling you, gives you a range of temperature that is ideal for that resin. Some resins are different. When I looked at Anycubic's resin, it gave me a temperature range that I could work with being in the garage.
Okay.
So placement of your printers is vital. Also, it's got to be something sturdy. Like this table we're at is sturdy. You can't just take a old folding table, pop it up,
right?
Because it's gonna move. Any vibration will affect your print too.
Well, this table has to be sturdy. The way Cameron slams it every single. Cameron, good to see you in chat. And so I've got up here on the monitor, this is the Inn of the Last Hearth. This is the print that we're looking at here, right?
Yeah.
And so you've got, so here's all the pieces. The question was earlier.
So those are the levels, and each level was broke into about 4 pieces. Especially the first 3 levels was probably 4 prints per level.
Yeah, it's monstrous. So, and this is all on Infinite Dimensions.
Yeah.
And if you have watched any of Jay's streams, which I know almost everyone on here has, the Infinite Dimensions is one of his sponsors. And so a lot of the stuff that he is using, a lot of what Bill the Master Crafter is printing and painting is the stuff from Infinite Dimensions. And so this Inn of the Last Hearth that I showed here, it's one of their bundle deals. And you can see these big STLs, they're not cheap. That's $107 right now on sale.
Yeah.
But that turned into this glorious structure. And if you weren't on earlier, I've got here, I'm showing Brim, which is one of my largest PC minis. This is almost 2.5 times the size of a regular mini. And he's dwarfed by the size of this tavern. This would be absolutely glorious, Cameron, for us to have in Tears of Erd. And Patrick's already said he's gonna print one for me, so that will be glorious for us to have. All right, so another question we have. What time is invested in cleaning? This was from Alexander. Clean cycles, what care is necessary, trying to carefully spatula items off the tray. And it's really very different for FDM versus resin. So maybe talk about that.
So maintenance for an FDM printer is way different than a resin printer, of course. FDM printers require a little more hands-on maintenance. I showed you the nozzle that burned on me. Nozzles will burn up because right now that nozzle is at 200 degrees. And so the least bit of filament that gets hung in there, that gets melted and pushed somewhere else, can affect the print. The Bowden tube, which is that blue tube on that printer, it's directly on top of the hot end is what we call it. And eventually it's going to warp and get burnt a little bit. So you're going to get out, clip it a little bit. I usually put a little more Bowden tube on it than I need, so that when I notice that that's happening, I take the Bowden tube off, clip it, put it right back in. I've got plenty of slack there. Cleaning the bed plate, the build plate for that, I use a glass bed. I found that a glass bed works a lot better on my printer, and some printers may use the regular standard plate. It's like almost like a Teflon almost kind of plate. But cleaning that, said before, take it, put it in the sink, run some hot water on it. Make sure your wife is nowhere around because that glue turns back purple. But I usually get a paper towel, wipe it up, dry it, build plate's ready to go. Getting it off the build plate, I recommend as soon as you can when it's on the build plate, get it off.
Okay,
because
why is that?
Because it's still warm.
Easier to
pry off. I usually take a small knife and get underneath it and pry it up. For resin, the only problem you're going to have with resin is if you have to clean the FEP, which is in the vat.
I hate cleaning my FEP.
I hate the FEP too. I had to replace the FEP because it got a hole in it. So you're just going to the vat is what holds the resin up against the laser screen.
Okay.
So if a print fails, it's going to stick to the FEP. It's going to stick to that piece of plastic.
Okay.
So you're going to take it out. You're going to empty all the resin back into your container. Filter. You want to filter it. They usually supply filters so you don't pour any pieces in your resin. You're going to filter it, and the easiest way to do it is to get some rubbing alcohol in a little spray bottle, spritz it, and from the bottom just start pushing up, and that print will usually pop up. Take a little spatula, get underneath it, and just pull it right up.
Very nice.
So it takes a couple of things. It takes a little practice, but it takes people that are printers and things like that. I don't know how many times I've called Mike, DM Dingbat, and said, "What have I done? Help me fix this." And so he run me through it, bam, and it cleaned it right up.
Interesting.
So cleanup is not bad. Now, if you ever got resin on your LCD screen, that's a different story. You got to be very meticulous with that. It's a plastic, almost like knife. You got to put some alcohol on there, let it set, kind of scrape it off, and make sure you don't do any kinds of scrapes or scratches on that LCD screen, or it's gonna be messed up.
Okay. That all makes sense.
Yeah.
Did that answer the question in chat? Let us know. If you have any questions, pop in there and just share them with us. And Chris Brungal, I'm going to go ahead and show some of the stuff that you popped in Discord here in just a second. But again, back to Mike, Manda, Twy, any questions you guys have or comments?
Yeah, I thought of this one just now. I guess not a whole lot of people often think about it, but is there a lot of electricity requirements or worry about surges if you don't have the right surge protector when you plug in your printer?
No, I do plug them up to surge protectors just for that purpose of keeping them safe. An FDM printer will, if the power goes off, you'd have to check on which printer. This printer will do it. It's called like a fail-safe, where it will stop where it's at, and it will resume once the power comes back on if you want it to resume. And so now a resin printer will most likely, mine will not do that. I can't pause it.
Okay.
I can pause it, but when I have paused it before and gone back to print it again, and it just didn't print right. So resin is let it go and let it finish. This printer, I can pause it, let it run all night, get up in the morning, pause it before I go to work, let it cool down naturally, because the faster it cools down, the more clog you're going to have in your nozzle.
I see. Okay.
Let it cool down naturally, turn it off. Turn it back on hours later, resume the print. So I would plug them up to surge protectors just for that purpose of it's electronics, like you would a TV.
Right.
But if it helps you, I just have regular 15 amp outlets down here, and I'm running cameras, and this machine I've got, this box is massive. It pulls a lot of juice. I just gave him a regular 15 amp outlet, and we're off and running. And I'm not having any. As soon as I say that, I'm going to trip a breaker. But so far, there have been no issues. Type hashtag BlueBoxRPG in the chat, and you'll have a chance for the giveaways. You say, what are the giveaways? Well, I'm so glad you asked. And by the way, if you're wondering about the disembodied voices that you're hearing, we have our Discord chat channel up and plugged into Twitch. So if you would like to chat with us, if you'd like to ask Patrick any questions live, if you don't want to fat finger the keyboard, or if you just like to be featured by voice on a Blue Box stream, jump into our Discord, scroll down to the LMA channels, and click that little voice channel, and boom, you'll be right in here. Now, if you're a troll and you say something you shouldn't, I will disconnect you immediately. But if you want to pop in and have fun in the chat, please go ahead and do. Also, if any of you have things that you'd like to share with us, if you've got your own 3D prints, if you got a printer running, you got a setup, and you have a webcam, Manda's going to pop a link in the chat right now, and it's called OBS or Video Ninja. It's something that I use here a lot. I've got it plugged into one of my views. So you could literally share your webcam. I could, with one click of a button, I can have that up here in Twitch, and I can show your setup. I can show your prints, your printer, your room, prints, anything you want to show. I can show it live on stream, and all you do have to do is just click that link that Manda is going to pop in just a second. Manda, that's the link I sent you earlier, if you have that handy. Okay, so let's go to the monitor here. This is the stuff that Chris, it looks like this is a, what is that? What am I looking at there? It's a dragon head, obviously, but is that a coat hanger? I think it's a coat hanger.
Looks like it.
So he printed a coat hanger.
Looks good.
I think this one's pretty neat. It's like an Asian dragon.
Or on the shelf too.
And the shelf. That's right. It's the whole thing. Yeah, it is. Yeah, the honeycomb. Yeah. So he printed a shelf with the very cool nice motif on it.
Or the brackets. Probably the brackets.
Oh, that's right. I do remember he said that. We'll just mention that we meant they showed it. And then here, these little guys.
Oh, wow.
Kind of cool. So if you have anything you'd like to share with us, you can pop it in our Discord, or you can send us, again, a link or click the link to the Video Ninja, and I can actually pull your camera up live on stream here. We're going to do that a lot for the budget build battle with Ashlyn here in just a few weeks. Okay, what other questions do we have?
Well, he answered mine. It was sitting on our 3D printer was sitting on a slightly wobbly table in front of a window right over a air conditioning.
Yep. Yep. That'll.
So you were 0 for 3.
That'll do it.
Okay, so the giveaways tonight, if you're typing hashtag BlueBoxRPG, let me show you what you can win. These are not just printed, these are printed and painted by Patrick. So we've got this very cool ruined structure here. It's got individual brickwork, the supports. The roof does come off of this guy. Let me show you that. Pops right off there. He painted the inside of that as well, so we're going to give that away. And then we have another one, somewhat similar here, that has no roof, but has the inside structure. Again, all the brickwork, variable colors in the stone. This is really, really nice. You did a great job on these, Pat.
Appreciate it.
So those are our 2 giveaways that we're going to do tonight, and you can win. Just type hashtag BlueBoxRPG in the chat, and we'll do those giveaways here in just a little bit. Yeah, it is impressive work. Thank you, Greg. All right, while we're letting that roll, anybody else have questions or comments? Otherwise, I'm going to switch to something just a little bit different.
I see Pat66 has a question.
All right, let's see. Oh, yes. Thank you very much. What do you need to do if the nozzle gets clogged?
Okay. So you'll know the nozzle's clogged. You have to kind of go through a step-by-step process of kind of narrowing down what's wrong with the print. If it's bed adhesion, it's going to show that by curling, kind of like what we showed on that. When it's not printing well at all, and you think, and I bought a pack of nozzles off Amazon for like $25. It had like 30 nozzles in it. They're not that expensive. So after a good 10, 15, 20 prints, I'll just change the nozzle. But if
Okay.
you can tell it's clogging, there's extra goop around, there's extra filament like that, I just got a socket set. Pop it up, do it while it's hot. You can go in and get your temperature. You can turn your temperature to your nozzle only, turn it up to 200 degrees. It's best to do it while it's hot. Go up there, take it out, make sure your Bowden tube is relatively clean, pop the nozzle right back in, tighten it. You don't want to over tighten like a lot of things. Tighten it up and let it go.
Okay.
So
That makes sense.
it's not a very big major ordeal if you got a clogged nozzle.
Gotcha. Okay, but you're also doing, as you said, that preventative change
Preventative
periodically.
at times, yeah.
Yeah. You said maybe every 15, 20
Sure.
prints. Okay. Roscoe, I'll ask that question in just a moment. That's a good question. Let me also, I wanted to show this tonight. I haven't shown this yet live on stream. Oh, come on, what's going on with this? There we go. If you haven't seen this yet, this is the Blue Box website, and we're very proud of our new website. We have fan art galleries. The fan art galleries are being organized by upload date and by campaign, so it's going to be much easier for you to find all of your favorite fan art. You've got About Us, our sponsors. You've got all the different campaigns, so if you want to know about the Tears of Aird, you can click that. You'll see each of the players and a little intro on the players and their PCs. We will upgrade this now with the adult PCs in Tears of Aird. But then what I really wanted to talk about tonight was this merch store. And you've been seeing, hey, thank you so much for the sub, my friend. If you haven't seen it yet, this is the new Blue Box merch store. The most important part of this is this piece at the top. We don't profit off of this. This is all run through a third-party fulfillment service, and they cover shipping and everything. So it's one price. What you see is everything included. And then any profit that is on top of this beyond their cost is going to St. Jude. So we keep everything, we skim it off, we put it into a separate account, and it's not much. It's like $2-3 per item. These are, fairly, to do this kind of one-off printing is not inexpensive. And so each of these items, when you buy it, so $16.95 gets you that mug, and the shipping is included in that mug. These come in 15-ounce and 11-ounce sizes. And then anything above what their cost is going to be given to the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital during our annual St. Jude charity stream. It'll be a Tiltify donation in the name of you, the Mad Chatters. So our goal here with the merch shop was not to make money. Our goal was to get cool merch in the hands of our fans, but then also to support our favorite charity, which is St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Now, many of you have seen this. You even saw me create a brand new mug live on stream. This was a quote from Daisy Bell when she said, I have a reputation for being pretty. And we love that so much we had to put it on a mug. You may have seen the tumblers and the phones, but what you have not seen is brand new to the merch store.
Oh, wow.
We have his and her tanks now, and these come in different colors. There's Heather, and I want to note, these are black and white versions of our logo. I thought it looked good with these color schemes. So these are not the blue Box logo. These are the grayscaled Blue Box logo, and they're really, really cool. You say, why is the women's more expensive than the men's? Because it's more expensive in the store that I build them from. This is not me adding extra to the women's garment. We also have aprons, which I thought was pretty. And this is embroidered. So whereas these are stuck on the normal, these are embroidered. These aprons, super cool. Tote bags in 2 different colors, so you can get the tan or the black. And then you may have already seen we have these notebooks. When you hover over the notebook, it shows you what's on the back. So this one has the blue dragon on the front, and it's got the Greyhawk Awakening dragon on the back. This has the LMA dragon on the front, and then the black and white Blue Box logo. So the merch store is growing all the time, and you can check this stuff out, and we'll add custom Greyhawk Awakening Book 3. Maybe I'll put one of Anna's maps on a mug. That would be pretty cool. For us to have. So if you check that out, anything you do there, of course, as I said, goes to support St. Jude. All right, another question in the chat we have is what you recommend for a beginner who wants to print minis and terrain. And I know that might seem, the socks. Keith, I started to work on those today, but I have questions about how we want to make the socks. We will have custom Blue Box socks as well here. They even have shoes. I can do like athletic shoes.
Wow.
There's some really neat stuff. Anyway, so I know the easy answer is resin for minis, FDM for terrain. But the truth is, with your, I've got multiples of my stupid chat in some of these views. I didn't notice that earlier. Let me remove that for you guys so you can actually see yourselves in chat. The resin beds are getting big enough now. You can do terrain in resin beds now.
It's just more expensive.
It's more expensive, right? And then you can also do detail with FDM. It's just not. So talk to us about that.
So each printer has its pros and cons on what you want. So when I started, I got the FDM printer first because I wanted terrain. I didn't want to spend $1 million on Dwarven Forge. And I wanted to build terrain and get it the way I wanted it. And so I started with that printer to build dungeons, to build like boards like this cavern that's right there. And so the more I got into it and was building the terrain, I was like, well, what's the resin like? And I was talking to Mike a lot, and I was apprehensive about the resin from the different things you got to take care of with the resin, like ventilation, some gloves, things like that, and just the overall hazards that come with resin itself. He finally convinced me to get one, and then when you get it, it's just amazing the quality that you can get from it, from the purchases that I've made from people for resin models. So the easy question is, or the easy answer is, what do you want to do with your printer? You want terrain, you're going to go FDM.
Right.
You want, and it's like what you said, you want miniatures, you're going to go resin.
Yeah. So, and I'm sorry if I'm repeating because I was also watching the chat. But let's say I had that one with the huge bed, the resin printer that can print the full helmets.
Sure.
And let's say I was going to print, let's say the bottom floor of that tower, the whole bottom floor of that inn. How much would that cost me in FDM, and how much would that cost me in resin? Just ballpark.
So, well, I'll give you the whole thing. The whole inn cost me about one spool. So
which would you
$20,
$20, right?
$20.
Okay.
So resin is going to be slightly more expensive. Now you get into the whole thing we talked about a minute ago. Is that print suitable for a resin printer?
Right.
Is it made for a resin printer?
Meaning the supports and all that.
The supports,
Right.
the things like that. Now, you could probably print that on resin. If you had that $1,500 printer that had the huge build plate, you could probably put that on there as one piece and print it. Now, you're probably going to go at least a bottle and a half of resin. So you're talking $20, $30, $32, $35 of resin. Now, with a quality... to me, the quality for this print on this, it looks. I don't see many. I see the flaws in it, of course, as the constructor of it. I can see where it needs improvement, where I missed some painting, whatever it is like that.
But to your point, I mean, you look at
the quality of that brickwork on that bottom layer. To me, is just great.
Yeah, look at that detail. And why don't you go ahead and pull that top off, if you would? Sorry, I'm off camera here for a second, folks, but sacrificing for the craft. So take a look at the inside of that. Hold on, we get that focus back on it. Hang on here, it's not auto focusing. Maybe tilt it more. I think it's a lighting issue.
Is it like? How about that?
Why don't you slide it here? Yeah, there we go. That might get it. Come on, focus, you hog. It's if I can get this thing to focus. Well, you can see the work there on the walls. Look at those shields he did. You got this. I mean, the detail is really, really nice. It's not coming through like I would like to see it on the camera.
The great thing about these, the doors do work.
Functional doors, all the gorgeous brickwork.
Now, this is how smart these guys are that build these, that program these. See these little holes at the top where the doors are? What that basically is, that hole runs all the way through that print, and that door has a little hinge on it. You take a piece of filament, an extra piece of filament, and you run it through that all the way down, and that's the hinge.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. Hey, Jay, you probably recognize this. This print is, as I mentioned earlier, this is a print from. I'm actually going to manually focus this. I don't know what's going on with the autofocus on here, but it's driving me nuts. This is from Infinite Dimensions. And so, here, I'll pull this guy and let's go back to about there. This is available on their site. I showed it a little bit ago. and it is just absolutely phenomenal. So go ahead and construct that piece by piece. Let's go layer by layer.
Okay, so there's your first bottom layer. Your second layer is basically a balcony that oversees it. So great way to have 2-level fighting.
Right.
If you want.
And it's large enough. I mean, I don't know if you can see. It is plenty big enough to actually play minis live. I could use this on stream in a heartbeat.
Here's a mini right here.
Yeah, go ahead and drop that in there. So you can see it right through the door there. I mean, it is really nicely set up for streaming combat.
So third level is going to be your rooms, because it is an inn. Will be your rooms with doors. Now, if you want to get fancy and put beds and all kinds of chests and all kinds of stuff in there, you could do that for sure. She's not wanting it. There we go. So that's your third level. Your fourth level is again more rooms for it. It's kind of neat because the way you get to that is the back side is that terrace out there.
Yeah, let's go ahead and show that. So you have here on the side,
right.
Pull that away for a second so they can see. This piece, you can join it to another piece, correct?
Right, to a building.
All right, so you can put an adjoining building there, or if you slide that over, you can put this trellis to the outside of it, and it just covers and makes it a complete structure on the outside.
So your fourth level, more rooms.
I like the hidden
and a secret
fireplace, fireplace, and a secret room up here.
And then just your roofs.
So it's modular.
Yes, and that's the best thing to build is something that's modular like that, kind of like the ship that we did. Something you can play each level of. You know, it brings so much more of that game to life, really.
Very nice. Jay, so the Master Crafter is on the 1,000th adventure. Absolutely, it has to take priority. Now, Jay, you haven't seen the LMA intro that I created yet, have you? Because it actually has a piece from Bill the Master Crafter. Would anyone be upset if I indulged myself and played that again so Jay could watch it? Jay, you did see it earlier? If you saw it, let me know. I won't play it again if you already saw it. All right, other questions we have in the chat. Oh, so one was, can you print dice?
I believe you. I've never tried printing dice, but I'm sure you could print dice on an FDM printer. I don't know if they're going to roll really well, but I mean on a resin printer. I would print it on a resin before I printed FDM because there's layer lines you're going to deal with there. But I'm sure somebody has got a file for resin dice. Most times if you're gonna make dice, you're gonna do it in like a cooker, almost like a pressure cooker,
right?
To kind of get the bubbles out of it. That's one thing you're gonna deal with there.
Makes sense. Okay. Question here is, have you seen any AI generated STLs? That's a good question. ChatGPT 4 came out, and it is even more incredible than 3.5 was. I was playing around with it some today. It is just absolutely insane. But I haven't seen any STL generated yet.
No. I hadn't seen anything like that.
I do understand, though, that we're going to do a whole LMA on AI stuff here pretty soon. But I do understand now it actually can process images. It can receive images, and I don't know what it does with them. But it's going to be
Now I have seen people build houses with a 3D printer.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
concrete. They feed concrete basically through not a hot end. It wouldn't be hot, but they feed wet concrete through that. And it just sits there and goes around and lays a layer down.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. All right, well, we're only going to go for another 15 minutes or so here, but we have some more questions. But I'm going to play this one. I won't do this every week, obviously, but we're excited about it. And there's some people that didn't get to see it because they weren't on earlier. We're going to play our brand new intro that we have for Loremaster's Arcanum. This is courtesy of all the artists that have created this stuff, including Hob. You got Anna's stuff. You got old school. You'll recognize all of it. And then it's something that Joffrey of Dice Songs and I worked on for the last many days. And we'll check it out here. We're going to have similar, not this style, but very nice production quality intros for TOA and Greyhawk Awakening as well. Monster Manual, Dragon Magazine, The Sentinel by Cowboy Hobb. Appeared in Greyhawk Awakening. From our LMAs with Tim on combat. There's the Sentinel without his armor. Y'all know what that is. Thank you, Josh.
Enemy spotted.
The Overlord.
I have
Four
seen
movies.
your
I know 3 of them.
Zombie goats. More combat with Tim. There's the Master Crafter's work. Also Infinite Dimensions print. There it is. Thank you. Thanks, Jay. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate that, and super excited with all the work that's been done, and it's all part of the community. You guys are just amazing. Thank you for that. All right, so another question we have in the chat, and then we'll do our first giveaway here in just a moment. Remember, we have 2 of these today. These ruined structures that are printed and painted by Fraley. They can hit your table tomorrow and be played in-game. They are stream quality. They look fantastic. Is a 4K printer like the Elgu Mars 3 sufficient for printing 10 millimeter figures? That's from Steve.
Probably
Thanks,
so.
Jay.
Probably so. The higher you go in your K, of course, is going to be the more detail you get. So something like 10 millimeters probably going to be okay, because we're printing 28 millimeter stuff on my 4K Anycubic. So yeah, I would say that that would be fine.
Okay. All right. Good. Let's see. Sam, did you have a question? I see you said you highlighted me there. Hello, Lucetius. How long did it take you to print those dungeon tunnel? Yeah. Why don't you let's hold that up, and I'll put over to this camera. Maybe you can see it that way. So
you can see where the tiles are by just the cracks, you know. Mm-hmm. And so you got to get a basic outline of, how you want your room to look. And then you kind of come up, and so the files will give you different floor designs, different height, different dimensions of each one. Like that's going to be the bigger ones that you can see. Then there's smaller ones up here to accommodate the round ones, things like that. How long did it take? I mean, so like I was talking to you earlier. So if I load the build plate up on that FDM printer and I put, let's say, 1 square of that dungeon tile floor,
okay,
it's going to take it probably 3 to 4 hours, maybe longer. If I put two of those big tiles on there, it's going to double its time.
Okay.
So it's going to take more time it's going to take you, if you're going to print terrain, it's going to take time. You can't have a game Friday and start printing Wednesday and think you're going to get done with something like this. It's a time. It's one of those things like we talked about. It's a set it and let it go. Build up as much as you can on your build plates that you're comfortable with, and let it go.
Okay.
So it's probably going to take for this particular board, probably took another 50 hours to print. But you're just not. I'm not.
But you're not there. Yeah,
I'm not
it's
sitting
just,
there watching it.
It's a couple of days, 3 days of work, but it's
Right.
doing the work. You're
Right.
just coming back
I'm
checking
getting
on
it started.
Can you pull one of those pieces up and let's just see? Like,
It's all glued.
Oh, it's all glued.
It's a board. It's
could
not going
you,
anywhere.
if you wanted to, could you do it more modularly?
You could do. These come with these little holes, like you can see on the side,
Right.
for clips. So you can take them apart, put them together. I didn't want to do that because sometimes the clips will break, things like that. I like just boards to be able to put it on a table and it's solid.
Okay.
Now then you got these types So you can see the infill right there on that. You can
Right.
see that. So these you can you don't put them together. I just kind of you can make any design you want to with caves. Put them up. You got T's, you got Y's, you got elbows, all kinds of stuff. Dead ends.
Cool.
Small hallways, large hallways. So certain like things like now. This is from the other place that I get a lot of files is from called Printable Scenery.
Okay.
That's where that gate is from too, and they do a lot of the dungeon tile stuff like this. Now they have a starter pack that's actually free
Okay.
for dungeon tile, not cave tile.
Oh, nice. Very
So
nice.
they have like a little starter pack that will get you started on some prints like that for a free version.
Very nice. Mike, did you have a question?
No questions.
Okay, any comments? Or I am trying to manage all the different processes here. I don't want you to feel like I'm ignoring you, but if anything you want to...
Amanda had one about where to get the replacement parts, but he said from Amazon.
Okay.
And she asked how long does a bottle of resin or a spool of filament last?
Depends on how much you're getting after it. How much you're printing.
Right.
I can print probably like I think there's a dragon that Mike printed that's not as big as that Tiamat over there. It took a whole bottle because it's just so much space to print. And so, like we said, that one roll printed that whole thing right there, and I only had maybe one fail. So, not a lot of cost for what you're printing. It's just
Right.
time consuming. That's all
Right.
it is.
Okay. So the question came in from Chris. So Chris, if you click, all you got to do, if you click the link that she sent, it'll take you to a web page. On the web page, in fact, here, let me show you. I'll show you guys how to do this if anybody wants to do it. We're gonna, I'm sure, do a lot of this when we run the budget build battle with Ashlyn. But if I go from my website and I go to video.ninja, you're gonna get this. All you have to do is add a screen share or a camera share. So if you want to share, it's like I do this all the time for LMA, you pick the screen that you want to share. So here's all my screens. I pick the one I want to share, and if I want to share audio, I can or not. If you want to share in 1080p, you click that little gear, and it's just that easy. Similarly, if you want to share a camera, you can see here, boom, I have a lot of cameras. And it's not going to let me start the one I'm trying to start now because I'm already using it in Zoom or in Twitch. So this Video Ninja, if you go to this site, you click add a camera, and you can actually point your camera. And then what I would do is I would go to this scene in my Twitch. You see where that little spinning dial is? That would be your camera feed or your screen feed right there live in Twitch. I can do it just that quickly. It's going to be really fun for the budget build battle. So as we're building with Ashlyn, people can show the crafts that they're working on and what they're creating. And we'll have the voice chat also. So it's going to make it very, very interactive. But if anyone has something you'd like to show tonight in the few minutes we have left, you're welcome to do that. All you have to do is let me walk through it. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do a screen to share, and let me select. I'm going to share. I'm going to share this screen here with my controls. When I click share that screen, now it's got a link up here. All I do is click it, and that copies it to my clipboard. So you take that, what you've done, and you paste it to me. I take it, I paste it into my Twitch, and we're off and running. It's that simple. I'm going to go ahead and stop that. I wasn't even showing that to you. I was on the wrong screen. But anyway, yeah, all you do is you click it and it shares your screen. Very easy to do. All right, other questions that we have in the chat.
If there's none in the chat, I got one last question.
Please, go ahead.
Do different brands of paint work better on FDM versus resin, or does it not really matter?
I use the same primer for both resin and FDM, and I can't remember what kind it is, but I buy it. You can buy it at Walmart. You can buy it wherever. It's just a paint and primer. It's mostly primer, just a flat gray is what I usually use.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, before we get too late here and get ready to Rust-Oleum, let me remind you, a week from today, we have this incredible stream. It is the ladies of the extended Blue Box family. So you've got 6 incredible women joining us next Wednesday. Mark a special time. It is 7 p.m. Central. Jay will not be streaming at that time. He'll be at GaryCon. And so he's going to raid into us with a stream he's doing earlier. We're going to have Ashlyn, Dollar Store DM, Meg Biscotti Hottie, Cameron, who plays Dahlia on Sunday, Rachel, who plays Mila on Sunday. We have Manda. For the first time ever, Mystical Unicorn will be seen on a Twitch stream next Wednesday night. And then we have Courtney of Figuratively Speaking Minis. And hey, no problem, Greg. They do have internet there, though, so you can still watch. No, I'm teasing. Actually, I knew some people that are going to be there. They will be watching, and if you can, tune in. It's going to be a fantastic chat, and the ladies will also take questions, and they're going to tell their stories. Trial and triumph, and talk about the things that they've experienced in gaming, cosplay, video gaming, role play, mini painting, terrain creation. It is going to be a really, really good show, so hopefully you can join us for that. And then, of course, we'll be back with Tears of Aird on Sunday. Let's go ahead and do the first of our 2 giveaways. All right, I've got your Video Ninja link. I see that. I'm going to copy that link, and I'll post that up. And while I'm doing that, any other questions that we have in the chat? In fact, this is probably, yeah, there you go. I've got it up right there.
Nice.
So, Chris, what are you showing us there?
So this is a print. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you loud and clear.
Okay. So this is a print that I did. It's a 3-layered print. This is actually for that group I was telling you about.
That looks really cool.
Wow.
Wow.
So this is a K-Roll, a Twitch group that actually the group I found you from.
And what kind of, are you using a different kind of filament there? It looks almost translucent.
Yeah, I've got a different.
Your audio is cutting a little bit in and out.
So yeah, I've got a translucent filament here. I've got 2 different kinds of colors.
That's pretty good.
Very cool,
I
yeah.
like it.
Yeah, I'm going to switch off this and get back on Discord.
Yeah, no worries. But no, that's super cool. And by the way, that's how the Video Ninja works. It's just that easy. You pop a link, and I can share your camera live on stream. And it's really, really neat way for us to share work and to collaborate in the community. Okay, so another question in the chat we have. Thank you, chatters. Your questions have been great tonight. Where would you recommend buying the exact printer that you're using here right now?
Amazon.
All right, so this, and what is this again?
This is the Ender 3. Just the base Ender 3. When I bought this 4 years ago, it was, say, $230, $240. Last time I looked is when I got some birthday money just a few weeks ago, and they were $180, and I had $170, and I told my wife, I was like, I almost bought another printer, and she was like, why? But you know, that's another discussion for another time. But I think right now they're about $180, so it's not a lot of cost on the front end to get into it.
Okay.
You would think.
Okay. That's not bad at all. 180.
No.
I mean, $20 a spool or a bottle. That's or spool. That's not bad.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna do the first giveaway tonight, and that is for this guy. This is the ruined structure. This one does not have a roof, but it's got sort of the remaining lattice of the roof structure. It is painted, and it's painted well. I mean, this is not just a flat gray. You can see each of these stones has some differentiation in color. And so we're going to do the first giveaway, hashtag BlueBoxRPG. I'll give you 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, yes you do, Pat, and 1. Holy let's go, Twy!
Good.
Congrats. You have this guy, and I'm pretty sure we already have your mailing stuff, but if we don't, let us know.
It has updated, so I'll
All right, yeah,
send
give
in
us the updated
new
info.
address.
And then go ahead and keep typing Blue Box RPG. There's another giveaway. We're doing this guy, which has the painted interior, neatly painted interior, also has the roof structure, which is removable, and also has that similar high detail brickwork. So type hashtag BlueBoxRPG in the chat, and we'll do that giveaway in just a moment. Any final comments or questions here as we're getting ready to wrap up from our chatters? Patrick, anything else you'd like to... Well, I didn't really show all these minis. Let's show some of the other stuff that he's done here. So we've got the Frost Giant. This was being admired earlier by Amanda. We have, for the Vivi Beholder fans among you, we have, I think this is like an undead or an alien Beholder guy here. Very cool. What else do we have over here?
So we got the Great Elementals that will just slide over this way. Which
So
are
look,
pretty
all the
cool.
elementals.
This one is really, I love that one right there. It's kind of like an angelic kind of being, kind of presenting a
Right.
sword. Pretty kind of like an undead behemoth kind of guy. The two like warriors. There's that one over there. That one right there. Like a druid, maybe orc or something. So kind of, some neat stuff that all those are from Loot Studios.
Loot Studios,
Yeah.
okay. And those are all resin, correct?
Yes, those are all resin.
And then look at this guy. This is super cool. So let me get this in the light where you can see some of the vine work. So talk about this one, Pat.
That is, it's like a door or portal that I got from Printable Scenery. That's actually in my game that I was playing. That one figure that I gave you came walking through that portal.
Ooh, very nice.
And it was not a very good night for those players.
No, I wouldn't think so.
So that I just now they do make some portals that Loot Studio has that you can actually put your phone in and have like a scene, kind of a cosmic scene going through it that kind of gives it more animation. That one was just something that I saw on their website, and I was like, I've got to have that because it just looks so cool and just so wicked. And if you look on the front, if you turn it around, you see the stairs that actually lead up to it.
Oh,
with the two skeletons. At
Oh,
the
I
top.
didn't see those. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Look at that.
So it's
all right. So you have the detail of the steps.
Yeah.
You've got the vines, and then you've got this
it's just a neat piece
skeletal gargoyle
to
looking
put out
things.
there for a good statement purpose on a game night.
It is fancy, isn't it, Natasha? All right, so hashtag BlueBoxRPG. We're going to do our last giveaway here in a moment. But before we do that, we have a question that we need to ask you here at Blue Box. And whoever answers this in the chat first, that's what I'll go with. Who would you like to ask the question? Should it be me, Mike? Should it be, or Patrick? One of the three. All right, Mike.
Mike.
Sorry, it's already done. All right, Mike, you got to ask the question, sir.
If you're watching tonight and haven't followed, or you're a follower and haven't subbed, or you've subbed and let your sub expire,
No!
we have one question for you.
What are you doing? Come on, give us a follow, give us a sub. We do appreciate all the followers we picked up tonight. We're over 2340. My follower thing is not updating for some reason, but the march just continues. Thank you for those of you that have subbed for so long. We do appreciate all of it, and we just continue to see the growth here, and the support from the community has been absolutely outstanding. Mike, well done, sir. As we get ready to raid into Jay, I'm going to give any final thoughts or comments you'd like to make, and I want to say thank you to Patrick. Obviously, he took his time out of his busy day. What time were you up this morning?
I got up at 10 minutes till 3.
10 minutes to 3. No, you college students, that was not PM. That was AM. He was up at 10 minutes to 3 o'clock this morning, did his work, his run. Oh, wait a minute. I almost forgot. This guy right here, He is the Frito-Lay Salesperson of the Year. Let's give him a round of applause. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
He's been there for 20...
coming up in August will be 29 years.
29 years, only the second time that he's won that distinguished award because it's a lot of folks. It's a big deal. And so congratulations,
Appreciate
Patrick. So he comes in hard. He's got the printer. He's got all the stuff here tonight. He even brought failed print examples. That pipe. Oh! I want to show the compass. Yeah,
Compass.
the compass. This kind of blew my mind. I never thought that you could do. Really movable. This feels so solid too.
And the way it looks like it's actual leather, the way it looks, it looks like it's leather.
So let me show this, guys. So this is a compass, and the surface of it looks like leather, and the top, let me try not to break it, the top pops up, it's hinged, and the compass is inside.
And the compass actually does spin if you move it around a little bit. It does spin.
I don't want to force it with one hand, but yeah, it moves, it spins. Whoops, sorry, I'm super cool, and that's off of a 3D printer.
That's off of resin.
That's off of resin, yeah, because you don't feel any of the texture to it. It's nice and smooth. Amazing stuff here tonight that you have shown us. All right, final comments, questions, or thoughts? All right. Sorry, go ahead.
Is that for like any of us or?
Yeah, anybody.
Yeah, like I just want to say it was really cool having this more interactive format, and thanks for doing this, John.
Oh, no, absolutely. Thank you, my friend, and thank you for being in. I do appreciate the interaction. I like being able to talk with you guys. I like being able to see Chris's work, and like as I said, we're going to do this more and more here at Blue Box. I love interacting with the community in this way, and yeah, thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, thanks for putting up with my poor showing there. I was getting a ton of feedback, so I could hear myself talking at the same time.
Yeah, you must have enabled audio on your screen share, maybe?
Probably, but
Yeah.
Plus I had the computer going, and the computer went mute at the same time, so I had it
The print
doubly
looked
going.
really good.
Yeah, no, the print really did look very good.
I like the idea of a multi-leveled print like that.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and do our second giveaway here, and I'll actually pull the Nightbot up on the screen for you to see how this works. If you haven't seen me do this before, if your name is over here on the left, you are in the giveaway. Whoops, I just lost Mike. Hold on, he's coming back now. There he is. Your name is on the left here. You are in the giveaway. I'll give you just a few seconds, and that is for this guy. Very cool ruined structure, printed and painted by Fraley. Give you 5 seconds. 4.
Oh, you already did that one.
3. Oh, I did that one. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm doing the one with the roof here. It's this one with the removable roof. There you go. You got in, Taryn. You got in, Ranger. All right. Here we go. The winner of the second print giveaway is Manda.
Oh my God!
No, Manda again.
That's rigged.
Man, that's rigged.
That's rigged.
Well, I'm glad I was actually showing this live on stream. People would have absolutely not believed me. Congratulations. You're lucky that everybody loves you, Manda.
Congratulations, Amanda.
Yeah, he'll allow it. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate that. All right. So, reminder again, Sunday at 1 o'clock, Tears of Air. Oh, special cosplay edition. So, we'll have Dahlia, Mila, Thomas, Click, David, and Daisy Bell all in cosplay on Sunday. And we just might have our new Tears of Air intro ready to go by then. Might be the next week. And then Greyhawk Awakening, only 2 sessions left of Book 1 before that goes back on ice. Your chance to catch Vivi and Hob. And then next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central, the big Throw Dice Like a Girl. 6 amazing women telling their stories, talking about the horrors and heroism, the creeps and crits of their games. And then also Amanda announced today all of our one-shots are filled for the month of April. So thank you, everybody. It's going to be a fantastic month of one-shots here on Blue Box. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and kick off the raid. Mike, I'm going to give you any final comments or thoughts. I really do appreciate you joining me tonight on kind of short notice with Robert losing power, and you have been a stalwart, and thank you for being with us tonight.
Yep, no problem.
Any? And do you have any final thoughts or questions? It's okay if you don't, Mike. I'll just go to straight wrap up.
Nope, got a lot of good information from it.
Okay. All right. And Patrick, any final words you wanted to share with the chat?
Oh, sure. Thanks for letting me come and hang out again. Printing is not the beast a lot of people think it is. And once it's like a lot of other things. Once you start doing it, you just keep on printing. And so it's very enjoyable. My wife says I'm a hoarder. I like to say I'm a creator. So that's where our differences are.
We find you to be an outstanding creator. I want to say thank you again for being with us here. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Make sure you say hi to Jay. Rating now.